Welcome back, friends. Zach here, full-time reseller. I am back on that chase, that hunt, on the prowl to buy goods to resell online for profit. And so this morning is going to be a little bit different. I am up here in southern Colorado, and I am going to kick my work day off with sourcing at the Durango Goodwill, which is kind of standard for me when I do look for items during a work week. But after I am done here, I'm going to be heading north, and I think I'm going to go up to Montrose, Colorado, as long as the pass is clear and the weather's not bad. I'd like to get into a few different areas and thrift. I have thrifted in Montrose once before. I think I even filmed some footage, but I had some good luck up there, and there's a handful of stores, but I just haven't been able to find much in my local scene. And I know, as I've wanted to grow my business and as I've had more success, something I struggle with is sourcing items this time of year, because I am from a smaller, more rural area. And because of that, it can be difficult to always have a huge haul on a daily basis. And so for that reason, I am going to go ahead and spread my wings and try to get out of town a little bit further today. I did throw an overnight bag in, but I'm not sure if I might just make this a long day trip or if I might stay out a night and really try to hit it some tomorrow. We'll just have to see how I feel. Now, with the days getting a little bit longer, the benefit of that is if I just want to do a day trip, I won't be driving back through the mountains in the dark. When I did go up to Montrose, Colorado the last time, it was in the dead of winter, the days were short, and I ended up deciding not to stay overnight on that trip, and I ended up hauling butt back, but I didn't get to hit all the stores that day. And so I'm just kind of thinking, with the time I have today and not having my kids this weekend as they'll be at their mother's house, that it would be a good opportunity for me to try to get out of my local area, which has not been real fruitful, and to try to hit the road, go out and spend some dead presidents on some goods to resell. So this store is just about to open up. I'm going to race in here. I'm going to set my timer and try to be disciplined, so I only spend maybe 30-40 minutes in here. Typically I'll spend about 45 minutes to an hour, but I want to try to move really quick so I can get on the road, because I do have some driving to do, and like I said, get into a few new stores. So keep following along. I appreciate you watching, and for all those people that have been subscribers, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, it's Friday, but the parking lot's not real busy, so might be kind of dead in here, which is how I like it.
Morning.
Good morning, brother. How are you?
Pretty good, yourself?
Good, man. Are you finding all those lost treasures? Rock on! Jacket sale's been sloughing off, and that's probably because there's been a warming trend of weather lately. And I think as we're just getting closer to spring, people are starting to want more summer wear, spring wear, stuff like that. All right, so right off the bat, here's a cool flannel, but the price ain't real cool. So these only typically sell for in the 20s, usually maybe low 30s. Love this brand, but it's a small, and I don't really like to buy men's small. It's a pretty shirt though, so keep an eye out for that shield. Cool's a great brand, and before they were called Cool, they were called Alf. And so if you run into any like Sherpa jackets or any outdoor adventure apparel that says Alf, that was, I believe, the precursor to Cool, same company. So if I'm wrong about that, please correct me, but I think that is correct what I'm saying. This Mary Wool crew neck thermal shirt, not a brand I was familiar with, but I figured it was merino because of the name. Went ahead and looked it up and did have a great sell-through rate. Not a super popular brand, but it was 100%. Unfortunately, it does have this little perforation on it, but the shirt's only $6. It is merino. I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up. I can sell this. This is one of my favorite things to find out sourcing in the wild. This is a Wrangler vintage pearl snap with the Aztec Southwest design. It looks pretty sweet. It's pretty clean. I don't believe it has extra long tails, which helps, but cool shirt. These will sell sometimes for 30 to 80 bucks, sometimes even more. So I typically only like to do Grayson and Roback golf polos, maybe a William Murray once in a while, or if it's got a really strange print on it from Peter Millar. But this is actually a Tiger Woods golf polo. It's kind of hard to read the tag, but it's got a great size. It's a Nike dry fit. So I'm gonna go ahead and scoop this guy up because it's cheap and I've had great success selling Tiger Woods polos. I must be lucking out this morning. This is another sweet vintage Wrangler. This one is not a pearl snap, it's a button up, and I need to make sure it has all of its buttons. But be on the lookout for extra long tails. I think it's a large or maybe even bigger, which is great. And it's also striped, so, and as long as it's clean, a little bit of that fading is normal and desired. I'm gonna grab it. I truly would give anything to find like a vintage Star Wars toy or even like a Ninja Turtle from the early 90s. Casey Jones, where are you? I'm across this pair of Hokas. They're pretty beat up. They are a very big size and the price is only like $9. I could certainly buy these, clean them up and sell them for maybe $30, but my time is worth more than that and I hate cleaning dirty shoes, so walking on these. Alrighty, super stoked about these Western shirt finds. Finding these old Wranglers with the prints like this is just kind of uncommon, and finding ones striped like this with the heavier, denser material, man, good start to the day. So hopefully this is a sign of good things to come. It's really breaking the law here. I broke my fast early today, but I've been very consistent with fasting 16 to 18 hours all this week, and I've actually dropped about 4.5 to 5 pounds. Yesterday I fasted for almost 20 hours. I was starving. So I'm treating myself today. I'm gonna go ahead and mix up my plans a little bit. As I got out of the Goodwill I just left, I looked at the time and realized that I had stayed way too late and I didn't get out of there when the timer went off, but I stayed because I found those several Western shirts. And sometimes when I find one really great shirt, my hope is that maybe the person that donated that shirt donated several of them. And that ended up working out because I found a second nice Wrangler shirt, the one with the stripes. But it did keep me there a little bit longer. No regrets. But because the next thrift store, the Methodist Thrift store, doesn't open till 10 o'clock, I decided I'd be dumb to miss it because it's just about to open in a couple minutes. And that store is incredibly cheap. It is very small, so I can get through it usually in about 15 to 20 minutes. And one of the big issues I've had with creating content is just coming up on a daily basis with enough goods to share with you guys, the viewing audience, so that it's helpful, so that it gives you better insight and ideas into the brands I buy, the materials, and why I buy them and what I pay for them. And I just felt like lately I've been in a little bit of a stagnant space with creation because the area I live in is limited. And so that's a whole other bag of worms, and I won't go too deep into it, but it is the big reason I want to get out of town more often and try to start sourcing bigger areas more frequently, because again, I just want to scale my business. And after doing this for about 1.5 years, I know that the more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. It's kind of like life. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut film here. We'll resume at the Methodist Thrift. So just kind of casing out the Methodist Thrift. It's about 1, maybe 2 minutes away from its opening, and having a little bit of coffee, just kind of getting my mind right and hoping that I will find some things. I am definitely going to follow my timer and get out of here at a decent, manageable time because I do have some road time before I get up to the next stop, which is a couple hours out. So here we go. Good morning.
Good morning. You got it okay?
Yeah. I usually don't start at shoes anymore, but with this store I sometimes do because I always find On Cloud and Hoka shoes here, but I'm not seeing them this morning. All right, so I had to cut my losses. Only spent about 10-12 minutes, maybe even less than that. Just didn't find anything, which is abnormal. I usually walk out there with at least 2 or 3 pieces, but so is life. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the road. Got a little bit of road time, like I said. Some beautiful scenery though to come and some fresh mountain air. So looking forward to that. All right, I just landed my space shuttle here at Montrose. I'm outside of the Culver's, gonna get me a butter burger. All right, this is my cheat meal for the week. And all that weight I said I lost all week long, I just put a little back on. That's all right though, love gold. The Salvation Army now. I'm getting ready to race in. I've only been here once before, but it did really good. Prices were a lot better than the Goodwill. And hoping for the best, so let's go. Found a rack that looked like it was fresh and they were getting ready to disperse some clothes. This is a Browning shooting shirt. It's only $5 and some change. I'm gonna grab it. Alright, so I burned through a couple racks here at the Salvation Army. I still haven't found a whole lot though. Well, a little bummed out, didn't find much of anything in the clothes other than this shooting shirt. So I'm over here, desperate times, desperate measures, looking at the shoes. Ain't nothing but a bunch of junk. For quite a while, I made my way over here to the women's jacket section, and on the very end of the aisle, I found this fleece LL Bean women's vest. It's $4. Not a whole lot to be made here, but I do great on LL Bean outerwear. Seems to be pretty clean. Gonna test the zipper, probably gonna skip. So this is a great find, especially because this store's been pretty dead and hadn't been much to source. This is a pair of stocking foot vintage men's medium Sims waders. And they do need a lint roller, but the price is there. They're only $6. And these sell for like $70 to plus $100. So no way I can guarantee that they don't leak, but I did look them over and they look clean enough to grab. So gonna grab them. Alrighty, so I'm super stoked to have found these Sims waders. I did spend a good amount of time looking them over. I think they're solid, but it definitely made up for, like I said, what I didn't find in there. I am always going for numbers, and that's what I was hoping to do, was get into more volume, but it's all right. At least I found something good in there. The other two items were okay. They're just more kind of bread and butter sales, but these Sims waders probably go for $70 plus, I bet. So maybe even more because they're older. I'm gonna go ahead and stop, get a little bit of gas, and game plan for the next stop. So a little bit of a crossroad for my decision making right now. It is almost 2 o'clock. It is about 4 hours, I should say 3 hours to back home, but I didn't quite get as much stuff as I had hoped for. I really wanted to get at least 15 plus items, and I'm only about half of that. So I'm gonna think this over, but I'm mulling over the idea of racing 1 more hour north up to Grand Junction. There is a Goodwill there, as well as an ARC that's pretty sizable. I imagine I'd be able to find some more stuff, but again, it's tacking on another hour's drive, which will only mean I either have to stay up in Grand Junction for the night or drive back over several mountain passes in the dark, which I've done. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead, get some gas, think about it, and we'll figure it out. So I've made that journey 60 miles past Montrose. I'm up here in Grand Junction outside of the Goodwill right now. Looks to be a nice store. I've never been in this store, but most of the newer Goodwills in Colorado are generally pretty darn nice. So hopefully this gamble pays off. Here we go. But I ain't gonna lie when I say I'm a little disappointed I haven't found a little bit more. But when I have found something decent, the price was just way up there and not worth the investment. But I'm gonna keep burning through clothes and stay positive. Well, definitely let down by that stop. And it's not that I think that this was a bad store. This was actually one of the nicest, biggest stores I've been in all of Colorado. And I've been to a lot of Colorado Goodwills, but anything really good was priced out of the park, and there was just no money to be made. And I kept finding items that were good brands, but not necessarily good items. Like there was tons of Patagonia button-up short sleeve shirts, and I don't sell those. They don't sell well for me, and that's okay. I think getting here at the time I got was not good because there was a lot of resellers, and this was probably a better store to hit early in the morning. But I will be back. All in all, there's probably some money being made. I just didn't get here at the right time, and it wasn't my day. But I decided to go ahead and cut my losses after about 20 something minutes, and I want to go ahead and try to hit the ARC thrift store as well as the Salvation Army here. Maybe there's not as much competition there, and maybe the prices will be a little bit better. So let's see what we can. All right, so hauled ass down the road about 10 minutes, and I'm outside of the Salvation Army here. Gonna hopefully look and see if I can find some better stuff. Finally found something here at the Salvation Army in Grand Junction. This is an REI FR crew neck. It is $7, which is priced up, but this is a bread and butter for me. I can use sell these for mid to upper 20s. I found this Troll Company men's hoodie. It's got like a geometric print to it. It's in good condition. It's priced up about 15 bucks and some change, but this has a 233% sell-through rate. And so I think I'm gonna go ahead and scoop it. The price on it's a little hard to gauge though, because they sell for $25 to $50, so I might just price it up and sit on it. Right, prices are a little bit high at this store, and it's pretty small in the clothing section. I think what I'm going to do is just get the Ariat FR crew neck and the Troll Company hoodie. They did have a couple Carhartt hoodies, but they're just really priced up, so those sell for me, but they don't sell for a lot when they're priced out of the park. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna do the 2 items and try to make a move to get down to the Ark and then hit the road to get back home because I got a long drive. Nothing super great. Hopefully I can sell this Troll Company hoodie for like 40 bucks or at least the upper 30s, make some of my money back and still turn somewhat of a profit. Well, definitely undershot on the volume of items I wanted to source today, but that's all right. Hopefully this Troll Company hoodie will sell for upper 30s, maybe even 40 bucks. It is a cool print on it. It has a great sell-through rate. It's a good size and it's pretty clean. The Ariat, definitely bread and butter, paid up on that, but just didn't want to walk out of that store with nothing, especially after I didn't find anything at the Goodwill here in Grand Junction. So last stop of the day will be the Ark. It is just right down the street. It is a bigger store from what the lady in this store just told me, so I'm gonna boogie because I still got to drive home and tackle the mountain pass. Currently outside of the Ark in Grand Junction, Colorado. I have an Ark back home, but it's kind of a dump. It's nowhere near this big or this nice, but I've been to these more updated, more modern versions of the Ark, and they're a lot like a Goodwill. However, prices can be hit and miss. They can be really expensive or really cheap, so hope for the best. Let's get ready to rumble. All right, so right off the bat, got a Carhartt vest, but unfortunately, priced out of the park. As I was concerned, the prices are incredibly high at this Ark. Probably trying to compete with the Goodwill down the street. And so I don't think I'm gonna stay here much longer. I'm just tired, I'm worn out. And I'm sure if I spent enough time here, I'd probably find a few things, but I just don't feel like digging through the needle in the haystack. So just making a quick run through the hard goods. I am gonna call it a day with clothing, and I'm actually about to call it a day in just a few minutes. These stores are huge. You could get lost in them. I've said that about big stores in Albuquerque when I've traveled down there to thrift, and it can be a little overwhelming. Definitely wish I would have got to this store a little bit earlier though, because it's so big that I'm sure there's some gems hidden in it, but not today and not for me. So guess I'm gonna go ahead and chalk it up and call it a end of day. And just want to thank everybody for following along. This is a super sweet Wrangler denim coat. It's got the corduroy collar. It's blanket lined, but there's no meat on the bone left after I buy it to make any profit. Well, that was a little bit of a disappointment. And I'm not so certain coming all the way up here from Montrose to Grand Junction was probably worth it today, considering I only bought 3 items and or actually 2 items. Yeah, so definitely probably wasn't worth the drive, but that's okay. I'm not gonna look at it as a loss. I definitely needed to scout out more of the surrounding areas around my house within a day's drive. This was kind of the one last area I haven't been up to this year, and I probably would come back, but I'd want to make it in the middle of the week, and I'd want to be out thrifting here in Grand Junction in the early morning. There's a lot of competition up here. This is a college town, and so anytime there's a college town, you're gonna have kids out sourcing clothes because kids know that they can sell clothes and make good money and not have to work for other people. And I can't blame them. I'm in the same mode and in the same way of thinking, but got a long drive home. Do appreciate everybody and their patience for watching. Grateful to have the viewers, grateful to be able to share what I do for a living. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the road. If you've seen me pass up something today that was worth a value, or something that was a banger, a bolo, something vintage, something I just totally overlooked, please let me know in the comments. As I have said in past videos, I love to learn. I'm not too proud to learn. It always continues. It's always ongoing. And when I come to stores like this where the prices are outrageous, the importance of doing ongoing market research is critical, because that's where you're going to find those brands that these store pricers are unaware of, and definitely be checking your sell-through rates. So again, if you like this video, please reach out there, hit the like button, make a comment, or please subscribe. I appreciate it.